Hello, Jackie Ogena here to share some more from the book I'm reading, Fruit from a Poisonous Tree by Mark Stamper. We have really learned some eye-opening things from this book, and I want to continue to share tonight. Unfortunately, the more that government has tried to manage people's behavior, the more unruly American society has become. Gangs have replaced families, resulted in a greater proliferation of drugs and illegal weapons. Our babies are becoming parents with no jobs or education, spiraling an entire generation of children into grinding poverty and third world expectations of life. We have lost our moral compass as a people and have embraced a secular view of morality rather than God's. This observable fact as Americans has entered the new millennium is the circumstances of the new world order as envisioned and planned a very long time ago by the international banking cartel and the United Nations. Oppression has become more refined and more insidious in recent decades. We frequently see scenes like the IRS agents dragging Amish tax resistors out of their scanty homes, or the Los Angeles police beating a suspect. We can expect the frequency of similar scenarios to escalate as we are pushed forward into a global government of the New World Order. The fact that only a minimal number of people physically resist government agents is not confirmation that the state is violating fewer people's rights. The level of tyranny imposed by government agencies is less evident today, primarily because the vast majority of citizens capitulate to government demands before the government resorts to enforcement. America is ripe for a revolution. The lack of an armed uprising is not evidence of a lack of discontentment and hostility. 6 corporations presently control all forms of media, newspaper, TV, radio in the United States, and they have been diligent accomplices in a massive cover-up of federal crimes and oppression of the people. Many Americans apparently believe politicians and policy experts have been wise enough to create a government that does not crush the people it was created to protect and serve. The question of individual liberty is now often marketed as a question of a rule's intention toward the citizen. But lasting institutions are far more important than transit intentions. The decline of liberty is not primarily from specific acts of government, but from the collective force of hundreds of thousands of decrees, hundreds of taxes, and thousands of officials with unrestricted power over other Americans. Our political leaders say that they have tried to improve the quality of life by multiplying the amount of intimidation, by militarizing police power, by giving one group of people the power of invention over others as they have others as to how they must conduct their affairs. The powers accumulating in a central government is not put on display at the Smithsonian Institute. It is exercised in the day-to-day life. The larger it becomes, the more oppressive it will become, regardless of the intention of those who advocate larger government. The average American understanding of liberty and the threat to its survival has declined sharply since the nation's birth. The Massachusetts colonists rebelled after the British agents received rights of assistance that allowed them to search any colonist's property. Modern Americans submit passively to law enforcement's sweep searches of buses, schools, and housing projects without a valid search warrant. Virginia revolted in part because King George imposed a 2 pence tax on the sale of a pound of tea. Americans today are complacent while Congress imposes billions of dollars in taxes, increasing the projected federal debt into double-digit trillions. Federal agencies have the power to act as prosecutor, judge, and jury in suits against private citizens. Maine revoked it primarily because the British Parliament issued a decree confiscating every white pine tree in the colony. Modern Americans are largely complacent when local regulatory agencies impose almost unlimited restrictions on individual rights to use their own property. How much more are we going to take? Wake up, people. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll continue to share more of this enlightening book.